Hello guys and welcome to Traceshow. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss none of the videos that I post. In today's video, as we get close to the elections, I keep seeing a lot of crazy things come out. Tim Walz had to mention something that CNN had to fact check them on. Check this video out.
Let's talk about manufacturing. Building back up manufacturing in the United States is a focus of both campaigns. I want to play for you what Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz said about this yesterday.
We want to make sure that you're able to bring manufacturing like Kamala Harris did. We know Donald Trump lost more manufacturing jobs than any president in American history.
Yep.
That's simply factual.
What are the facts here?
Well, if you're going to say something is simply factual, it should be factual. It's not true that the Trump presidency lost more manufacturing jobs than any.
Uh-oh, what did he just say? What did he just say? This is not what? True. That's some very good news to hear. Because it's crazy that they can go on and just say all this stuff, but it's time to be corrected. The people need to know the correct things so that if you're still undecided, you can make a decision.
The other presidency, under George W. Bush, there were about 4.5 million manufacturing jobs lost. Under Trump, it was about 178,000. Now, there are also more manufacturing jobs lost than under Trump, under Eisenhower, under Ford, under Reagan. So Trump does not have the record. I think it's also worth pointing out for context that these Trump job losses in manufacturing overwhelmingly occurred because of the COVID pandemic. Pre-pandemic, under Trump, there was a gain of about 414,000 manufacturing jobs. Again, he ended a negative 178,000, but that was largely because we had a pandemic-related crash.
Would you look at that? What Tim Walz had said on The View wasn't 100% correct. And it's kind of crazy that CNN had actually caught this because the ladies on The View love saying, oh, well, Trump said this, but that's not correct. What about what Tim Walz just said? Was that correct? Obviously not, because if it was, CNN would not have to fact check him. But in this next clip, CNN just admitted to something that will blow your mind. Check this clip out.
I want to make sure that we acknowledge that the Latino vote across the country means so many different things in so many different places. People come from different communities. Obviously, Miami, you have so many Cuban Americans, etc. But I am still interested in your assessment of why Latinos as a voting bloc, we're seeing this with black voters as well, voters of color, that are not necessarily seeming to be as inclined toward the Democratic Party this time around as they have been in past election cycles. It's part of why we're seeing numbers, especially across the Sun Belt, seem to look better for Donald Trump. And you touched on some of these issues in terms of the border, but I'm curious why you think that is and how much of it has to do specifically with culture.
Well, I'm going to say this. Race has nothing to do with it. Gender also has nothing to do with it. What most people focus on is the economy and how they can make their lives better. Because people are very tired of what they've been dealing with. They don't want to deal with it any longer. That's what it really comes down to. People have been struggling for quite some time and they're ready to make change. They don't want to continue what they've been dealing with. They want to be able to put more food on the table, keep a stable roof over their head, and not have to worry about these crazy prices that they have to keep paying every day.
I think it has to do a lot with culture. I think it has to do with the fact that, the Democrats have had 4 years under this administration and Hispanics don't see a record of success. They see inflation eating their paychecks, and then they see rhetoric that does not motivate them. Under President Trump, he was tough on Latin American dictators like Fidel Castro's regime, Raul Castro and Miguel Diaz-Canel, and also in Venezuela as well. And that resonated with the Cuban and Venezuelan communities. I saw a statistic once where he got, I think 75% of new arrival Cubans voted for the former president in the 2020 or the 2016 election. I can't remember which one.
Wow.
At the same time, you had Democrats monolithically branding Hispanics as Latinx, something that doesn't resonate with the Hispanic community, or saying, that they're as unique as San Antonio tacos, which is something that the First Lady said in one of her speeches in, I believe, San Antonio. So, those are things that, Hispanics just feel disconnected from the Democratic Party. They feel that the Democratic Party has not listened to them, has not made their lives better. And so they're looking for an alternative. And I think that's part of what you see. And then I also think that the former president has listened. He's listened better to the Hispanic community, and he's tailored his policies specifically to meet the needs, as you said, I think very correctly, of the diverse Hispanic communities. They're not monolithic. They're not the same. Every community needs a different approach, has different priorities, and they have to be met on an individual basis.
All right.
So as you guys just heard, policies are very important to a lot of people because everyone wants a brighter future. Everybody does not want to deal with what we've been dealing with. It's been happening for too long, and it's time to make change and get a fix for everything that we've been dealing with. It's hard on a lot of people, no matter your race. It's hard on everybody. People feel it in their paychecks. They feel it when they go to the grocery store. They feel it when they fill their car up. They don't want to continue with it. Nobody does. Now in this next clip, Byron Donalds explains some crazy things that are happening around us. Check this clip out.
Voters are going to decide, do they want a president who's actually going to have a sound economy where prices are under control? Do they want a president who's going to secure our southern border and hold for this one so that young girls are not raped by the drug cartels in the journey to our southern border? Because that's what's happening right now, Jim.
Sex trafficking of minors is quickly becoming the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the United States.
You have young girls who are being victimized by the coyotes and by the drug cartels simply because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden could not do the right thing, which is to secure our southern border.
Texas DPS found a massive group of 57 unaccompanied children. Once they're processed, many are falling through the cracks and then get literally lost, becoming vulnerable to traffickers.
So if you want to talk about a story he told about Arnold Palmer, or the fact that young girls are being sold into sex slavery today because of Kamala Harris's wide open borders, I will tell you, give me a story about Arnold Palmer, but secure the country.
This shouldn't be happening at all. This shouldn't be happening at all. Innocent lives are being ruined. Things are happening to innocent people. How can anyone want to deal with this? Nobody should want to deal with this. This shouldn't be happening. None of it. None of this should be happening. Nowhere. This is terrible.
And save these young girls from being victimized by the drug cartels.
32,000 unaccompanied children failed to appear for their immigration hearings. As of May of this year, ICE also didn't serve notices to appear on more than 291,000 unaccompanied minors.
Because Kamala Harris doesn't care about that. She's not lifted a finger to secure our southern border. And so where are the stories?
I guess my question, though,
Congressman, young girls who are given Plan B, who are put on birth control because they're being trafficked into the United States by weak border policy.
You could order a sex trafficking victim as fast as 15 minutes. There's ads on social media and even gaming platforms that look exactly like this. You could select what age, height, and other really disturbing factors.
That's the issue that the American people are having to deal with right now. Not his story about Arnold Palmer.
That right there is very, very sad to hear. That just literally blows my mind. I can't believe that stuff is happening around us. That shouldn't be happening. Listen, we have about 2 weeks, and guys, I hope that everyone makes the ultimate decision to make America great again, because we can't continue with this. I mean, that right there is terrible. That shouldn't be happening at all. That. Let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comment section. That'll be a wrap for today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.